That allergic reaction to frankincense was not an allergic reaction to frankincense. Throughout the day yesterday, Sunday, continued to get worse and started to blister. I think you can see it a little bit on here. See the little blisters that have started there? And it's way close to my eye and swollen here. It's shingles. Hmm. And because it's shingles, it doesn't matter what my blood work comes back as today. Uh, I am not going to have chemo this week. Dr. Abramson does not want me in the office with the other patients. So, doesn't matter how tough I am. I was ready to go, but I can't go. So, bummer.
So, this is the third time I've tried to record this video because I keep getting solicitor phone calls and I don't know if they're important, so I stop. Ugh. Hopefully, that doesn't happen again. Um, I wanted to let everybody know I had a good chemo experience last week. Like usual, I have quite a bit of energy on Thursday and Friday. Chemo's on Tuesday and Wednesday. Energy Thursday and Friday, and fatigue Saturday and Sunday. Got myself in some good naps on those days, and I'm feeling good again. It's Monday now. I'll have chemo again on Wednesday. For the first time ever, I'm going to drive myself to Nashville. Jeff is a nervous wreck. He'll be watching me on Find My iPhone, probably doing a refresh every 5 minutes to make sure I'm okay. Normally, I don't do this because I don't want to drive back. Going there wouldn't be a problem, but driving back, I wouldn't last a 3 hour drive without being too tired. But my friend that I made down at Vanderbilt, Nita, shout out to Nita, she'll be excited about that, um, recently moved to Nashville for this very same reason. She too was getting tired of the drives. And I'm going to crash at her house. So we're going to have a little slumber party. I'm super excited. She's super excited that we'll get to spend some quality time together and not just in passing at the doctor's office. So I'm really looking forward to that. Um, Another thing that has happened in this past week is Mom and I totally redid the Amy's Arrow Soap Facebook page. It is so much more user friendly, and we've already noticed that by several more orders. If you're not aware of that, just go to Amy's Arrow Soap on Facebook. You can see all the different soaps we have available. My mom makes these wonderful homemade soaps, and we sell them to help fund my travel expenses. When I go down to Vanderbilt, the gas money, the eating out, and of course on those nights that that Jeff and I go and we have to get a hotel, the soap proceeds fund those for us. Um, so, if you've ordered before, thank you, thank you. If you haven't, check it out, uh, especially as Christmas comes up. Okay, enough of the commercial. Kids are back at school, so house is much more quiet now. It's kind of bummer. I miss my girls being at home. Hmm. Um, I also, there's more times that I miss them too because now Grace has her license, so Abby and Grace go shopping together a lot, run and get ice cream together. You know, all those things that you just had to do as soon as you got your license. Um, that's happening a lot too. But you know what? I am so blessed to be here, to see it, and to experience these things with them. Didn't think I would be, but God is giving me so many more experiences than I ever dreamed, and I'm grateful. I had a new pain last night just before bed, and it went on throughout the night. It's in my
right rib cage, and it hurts pretty bad. It's not constant. It kind of comes and goes, more so when I move around. But it does still come even whenever I lay still. Kind of reminds me of in 2012 during chemo whenever I got a infection in my lungs. So we took a look and noticed that just this morning my scan results came in, and sadly, I've had growth in the tumors in both of my lungs and a new bloom on my brain. Haven't talked to the doctor yet, so I don't know if she will agree that that's what this pain is, but it's awfully coincidental if not. I've never had any pains in my chest for my lungs, and these tumors have been longer before. The right one is 5 centimeters and the left one is 6 centimeters. But I don't know, they could be different shapes and touching different areas, and I don't know. We'll see. I'm surprisingly more calm um, than I thought I would be whenever I saw growth again. Um, I know that's God.
So I've got some more information about the pain in my side. According to Dr. Abramson, that's my oncologist at Vanderbilt in Nashville, she does agree that that pain is probably being caused by the growth in the lung tumors, and the fact that they have grown again and grown at a percentage that is starts to be a little alarming. I don't alarming is kind of a rough word. Um, Once you reach like a 20% overall growth, um, you start to question whether or not this is the right treatment anymore. I am really close to that 20%, not quite there yet, but close to it based on the fact that my last two treatments there has been growth, and when you add to that the additional pain that I'm having, which thankfully it hasn't been as bad in these last few days as it was in the beginning, but um, when you add that, and then the fact that my blood just doesn't seem to recover fast enough, and I'm always losing a week, and now up to 2 weeks before I can have chemo again, it's time to start looking elsewhere. So, um, when I went last week, it was my last trip there, at least for now. Dr. Abramson did not have another trial for me. So the only thing available to me are already on the shelf FDA approved drugs. And I can get that in Evansville, so it doesn't make sense to drive down there. I did get her recommendation because I love her dearly and I hate to be losing her. But I got her recommendation on the next drug she thinks I should take, and she even gave me like her number 2, 3, and 4 as well after that. And I made an appointment with a local doctor that I've been keeping in touch with for a year now. I knew that this time would come, and so I kept in touch with her and kept her up to date on my conditions so that when the time came that I needed a Evansville doctor, um, that she would be on deck, ready to go. I have an appointment with her tomorrow, and I'm going to talk to her about what's next, and I will let you guys know. But I would be lying if I didn't say that it has been a real roller coaster for the past week and a half that I've known something was going on, and then the past almost week
that I've known. I can't go back to Vanderbilt. Had a few emotional breakdowns over it. But then on September 1st, you know, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's annoying. That little thing on Facebook that pops up and tells you this is what a memory that you had from last year or from 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Overall, it's been an annoyance for me because it keeps reminding me of my first battle with cancer and showing me what I was saying during those times. And things were going a lot better then. I was only stage 2, and I was just going through a normal breast cancer treatment, and I had it. I knew that it was going to be done, and I was going to get my hair back, and life was going to go on. And it is, of course, obviously very different for me this time, and so I hated getting those. But I got one on September 1st that prompted me to say, I don't remember the name of the blog, and it was when it was on CaringBridge. The name of the blog was an open letter to a friend, and I didn't remember what that was about. So I looked at it, and it spoke to me. My own words talked to me about this time that I'm going through right now. And I'm going to read it to you. And I know watching me read isn't all that, but just keep in mind, these are my words. These are things that I wrote, and how much they apply to me right now. And if that isn't God, no, it is. But okay, here it goes. What had happened is I had a friend that had asked me to help her in how she could talk to another friend of hers who was going through a rough time. And this was my advice to her on how to talk to someone going through this. It says, someday my chemo will stop working. What Dawn, that was the fake name I gave this person, what Dawn and her family are going through is my family's future as well, unless God decides to work out his plan another way. Dawn and her family are probably tired of hearing that God is still in the miracle business and his will heal her. But it's not time to say that to her again. In fact, it might fuel their sadness and make them doubt his love for them, since he's not brought them physical healing thus far. God heals in 3 ways: physical, emotional, and spiritual. I was blessed to be washed over by the Holy Spirit the night of my seizure and had immediate spiritual healing with what was happening before I even knew what it was. My emotional healing is something he has to give me over and over again. It's like a scab that's ripped off every time I think of what is being taken from me. Seeing my girls get married, being a grandma, holding hands with my wrinkled husband while young people smile at us, and taking them to get prom dresses, babysitting their kids, all of these things being taken from me. At this time, Dawn and her family need to know it's okay to ask over and over again for this emotional healing every day if they need to. If they call on the Lord for this type of healing, they will see him. So this was to somebody who was facing chemo that had stopped working. Now, I'm not giving up. I'm not going into hospice or anything, but this will be my 3rd different chemo trial. Not a trial, but try at chemo. And it's said that it usually takes about 3 of them before you're either worn out or your body's worn out and you're ready to stop. Now, if this one stops working and I'm ready to do it a 4th time, I'll do it. But I'm still starting to feel those things that Dawn and her family were feeling. And my own advice says that it's okay to have to ask for emotional healing over and over again. So just because you asked for it once doesn't mean that God isn't willing to hear you ask for it again and isn't willing to give you it again. I have been doing that since I read this on September 1st, which is why I'm here talking to you now. Because to tell you the truth, back on that day, I was in no condition to talk. But I can now. And we'll hear what the doctor wants to do tomorrow. And I will let everybody know. But for now, just pray for me and pray that whatever it is that is delivered to me, that I will have comfort with it and that my family will have comfort with it, and it will be. Thank you guys. Bye bye.